Hello there, and welcome to my channel, Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today, as per the title of this vid, we're going to try and find out which one of these household chemicals that we have before us works best for removing paint from some 20-year-old kits that I did when I was around about 28 and made redundant. Now, obviously there's a story to this and there's a reason to why I'm doing it. It's not just a sort of a vid to engage with you guys on YouTube. It's actually something that I want to do because there's a lot of money on this table. Forget about the cost of the chemicals that we've got in front of us. There's money here, and these were all built 20 years ago, hand painted with Tamiya paints. These are the actual paints from 20 years ago, including these Humbrol enamels, and I did them by hand, and I did them at a time when, I've got to be honest, I thought that this bottle of thinners was for cleaning brushes. So the paint is on these very, very thick, and if I'm going to do anything with these, I mean, why I've saved them for 20 years, I'm not quite sure, but it's become useful now. I'm going to have to repaint them, and I'm generally going to use these, I think, for sort of painting mules to try and get my head around weathering to a certain degree. So I'm not using up new 30-40 quid kits to experiment. So we're going to start this with a bit of chemistry, something that I didn't do very well at school, and we're just gonna play around with these and see which one works best. But to sort of provide an indication as to sort of how much money is on this table, and I mean, you look at something like this, which is a Steyr, that's kind of rare these days, and that's 30-40 quid. Tamiya. A Vespa, that's kind of a nice looking vehicle, that's 30 quid. We've got this Stug with the side skirts on, that's £30. But it's in the minor details where the actual money is. These two guys here that we've got are from Tamiya 35109, German soldiers seated, from 1978. And if you go and have a look for this on eBay, this kit, I mean, I know all these 70s and 80s kits by Tamiya, you can pick up for a £5. But this one, it's almost invisible. Currently, there's one available in France for £25.78 plus £20 postage. And I've got two sets here in these little tubs. One painted 30 odd years ago when I was a kid, and one painted when I was redundant when I was 20. This little one here, this is a Nebelwerfer. This is an Italeri kit, 324. Currently, on eBay UK, I can only find one. £24.99 plus postage. I mean, I'm kind of lucky I've already got another one of these. But that's £25 there. And yeah, it's missing a load of parts and it's painted badly. But if I can get the paint off that, I'm saving myself money. And forget I spent 30 quid on all these chemicals. You know, SDK have said little car, armoured car, £25. Throw some chemicals on it, couple of quid, job's a good one. So in front of us we've got Tamiya X20A thinner. I mean, obviously this is a thinner, but it's for thinning paints, so I don't know whether that's going to work or not. We've got some Oven Pride. We've got some isopropyl rubbing alcohol. I'm told this works. We've got methylated spirit. We've got Mr. Muscle oven cleaner. Now, I'll be quite honest with you, I've kind of tried this before because I use it for cleaning stuff. I turn my paint pots covered in paint into nice clean paint pots. I clean my pallets with them. And I've started cleaning out these little Tamiya containers because they might come in useful at some point. And also, this is the baking tray that I do my cleaning on, and as we can see, it's taken the paint right off it. So I kind of know that works. So that's the only one I've tried. Dettol, I'm told, works. This is going to remind me of my granddad because he used to use Dettol a lot, and I was convinced that he used to use it for aftershave. I've got white vinegar. I've never really heard of this, but apparently it's a really good natural cleaner. I don't know whether that's going to work. We've got Dr. Magic oven and grill cleaning, which is just a cheaper sort of Mr. Muscle variant, so I thought we'd try that. We've got nail polish remover, acetone free, by XNC. We've got AK paint swiffer, which is the proper stuff for doing this, but it's kind of expensive. And we've got this bottle of Lagavulin as well, Isla single malt whiskey, 16 years old, and that costs £74. Now, Do you really think I'm going to try paint stripping with a £75 bottle of 16-year-old scotch? Well, maybe, because it's kind of interesting. 700ml of Lagavulin, really nice single malt Scotch whisky, is £75. 100ml of AK paint stripper is about £12 to £15. So that is actually cheaper by the litre than that is. So I'm going to do you guys a deal. If I get to 5,000 subscribers, or when I get to 5,000 subscribers, is what I actually bought this for, to celebrate. Currently I'm on 3,947, so I need about 1,000. If I can get to 5,000 subs, or whenever I get to 5,000 subs, I'll try paint stripping with it. There's a good deal for you. So hit that subscribe button, basically. So I'm going to get all these other kits out the way now, and we're going to start the experiment just by pouring these chemicals into these little tubs, of which I pre-positioned these couple of figures in each one from 20 to 30 years ago. Some of them have been double painted. Incidentally, these haven't been primed, and they weren't treated with any varnish. So yesterday, about 24 hours ago, I decided to try and make this as fair as possible and as relevant as possible to you guys. I've actually painted all these in varnish as well. So I'm going to get all this crap out the way, and we'll get on with it in a minute. Right. So incidentally, I mean, these have been painted in a mixture of Humbrol enamels and Tamiya acrylics. So it's going to give us a sort of idea as to, you know, what these chemicals do to different types of paint. I am also kind of curious as well to see what happens to the glue on these things. I mean, this is why I'm starting this experiment off with figures, because if they fall apart, you know, I know what's going to happen. This tube of Humbrol polycement actually came out of my box of 20-year-old stuff, which has been in the attic for 20 years, in several attics actually. And I'm assuming that this is what was actually these things were put together with. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to the glue with these chemicals as well. Now, I will like to point out I put some gloves on. When handling chemicals, you should also wear safety goggles, so I'm going to put those on. You should potentially wear a respirator of some sort as well, or some sort of thing, because these things stink. The Dettol smells, I know. But I'm not going to be able to put this on because I'm talking. So I've opened the window. I'll open it a bit more maybe. So here we go. We've got this one here. We've got a couple of figures in here, and we're going to just basically top this off with some Tamiya thinners. There we go, just to cover the figures. So that's experiment number one. Here we've got the Oven Pride. So this is like a gloopy liquid. We're going to pour that in, cover the figures up, and get it back in. We've got these really, you know, the whole of these 35109s are actually in all of these tubs. And we're going to cover this one up with whatever, ISO stuff. We've got the methylated spirits. We've got Mr. Muscle. This is a spray, obviously. Oops. It's like a spray foam, so I'm gonna, well, I can taste that. So I'm just gonna fill that up. Put the lid on. Oops, what's that one? I've got my granddad's Dettol. I've got this white vinegar, which I have no idea whether that's going to work or not, but we'll soon see. It's quite cheap, it was only about £3, so if it works, that's great. We've got this Dr. Magic, which I'm thinking is going to be the same as the Mr. Muscle. Kind of looks that way, but it was cheaper. We've got the nail varnish remover. Oh, God. I can smell that. I can taste it. And then we've got the AK paint stripper. Now, I'm told that this stuff will strip the paint with a bit of a scrub in 3 minutes. That's basically what it says on the label. But it's $11.99 or £12 or £15 or whatever. And then we've got the Lagavulin, which, like I've said, I'm going to save that because when I get to 5,000 views, I'll have a nice little party with myself. But when I get to 5,000 views, I promise, so do that button, I will actually try stripping some paint with it to see what happens. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave these for 24 hours because I'm lazy and I don't really want to get involved with scrubbing paints. Sorry about that. So we'll be back, continuation of this particular video, in 24 hours, and we'll see what we shall see, I suppose. The Dr. Magic seems to be wanting to escape. So stay tuned and we'll complete the experiment tomorrow. Bye for now. Okay, so it's 24 hours later and we've left all our things soaking for that amount of time. As we can maybe see, some of them have gone rather gunky and discoloured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip the excess liquids into this tub, and we're going to have a quick nose at them, and then I will disappear and I'll give them a bit of a scrub in the sink, and I'll bring them back and we'll see the end results. So we've got the Tamiya X20 thinner, which I don't really think is going to work that well. And no. I think, as we guessed, that hasn't really done any good whatsoever. Next up, we've got the Oven Pride. Ugh. And we've got some paint, and with a gentle bit of rubbing, it does appear to be coming off. So we might get some success out of that one. Next up, we have the isopropyl. Oops. And there's not really much going on with that at all. It's a bit disappointing. Okay. Next up, we've got the methylated spirits. What's going on in here? And again, we're not getting much off with that at all. Okay. Next up, the Mr. Muscle. Oop, and it does appear to have attacked the glue somewhat. I think we'll get some paint off with that one. Dettol's next. Oh, and that seems to have worked quite well. Look at that. That's really coming off. So my old granddad's aftershave has worked a treat on that one. White vinegar, I don't expect much to have happened here. Nah, there's nothing going on with that one really. They do look quite clean though. Dr. Magic. That seems to be working quite well. Acetone, nail polish remover. Oh, that's just really coming off. That's worked really well by the look of it. And last but not least, the AK paint stripper. And yeah, the paint is just literally falling off that one. Right, so I'm going to go and get rid of that nasty smelling chemical mix, and I've given them a clean up in some water, and I'll present you the results back in a bit. Okay, so we're back and we have some results, some good, some negative, and some question marks. So first off, we've got the Tamiya X20 thinner, which I'm sure to everybody's lack of surprise, this really didn't work. It hasn't even succeeded in removing the oh, there we go, it's just come off. It pretty much succeeds in removing decals, but not much else. It doesn't even do an awful lot to the glue, to be honest with you. So that's a bit of a no-go, bit of a waste of time. The Oven Pride, on the other hand, was quite successful. This is after the 24-hour soak, and all the paint has been quite easily removed. The only bits that are really left are where there have been glue. Now, I'm kind of the opinion that that will probably come off with a bit more of a soak. Incidentally, these are all subject to a 5-minute scrub with this brush and a toothbrush, so they're all basically the same treatment. But the only parts that really sort of didn't work on is where there's been glue, and it does appear that these have been painted and then glued over the top, which, yeah, well, that's probably not the best thing to do in the long term, is it? I might have aided to the glue coming off so easy. This is one of the surprising ones. This is the isopropyl, and one of the figures, the paint has been really quite successfully removed, but the other one I could hardly budge it, so that's kind of weird. Don't know why. 5 minutes and didn't really want to take this paint off, and it's pretty much the same paint as on the other one. Again, all the parts came apart on this, and so that's not as good as I expected. I expected the isopropyl rubbing alcohol to do a good job. This one's the methylated spirits, and again, one of them remained very difficult, and the other one, it came off for the large part, but not as successful as the other Oven Pride and some of the others. So again, maybe another soak might resolve that problem. And Mr. Muscle, this is a foam cleaner. This worked really well. Again, where these parts have been painted and glued together, it didn't really succeed, but it is worth pointing out that for most of this time I've actually separated these at the time of doing the cleaning, so the chemical hasn't really had time to have a pop at these particular areas. So that might explain. I mean, you can see this bit here, it's quite easily rubbing off, so I would say Mr. Muscle kind of works. The Dettol, again, very much the same. Really nice sort of clean removal of the paint, apart from where these things have been stuck together. And obviously, you know, it's debatable as to my painting and gluing operation, which has obviously previously been the method 20 years ago. So that seemed to work really well as well. The white vinegar, as most people probably guessed, was a bit of a waste of time, although it did succeed in separating the parts. But paint-wise, everything's pretty much still there, so that's a waste of time. Dr. Magic, which is another similar Mr. Muscle oven cleaner. Again, removed the paint really well, apart from in these glued areas. So that's that one. And the acetone. This one was kind of weird because where it's separated the glue, this area particularly, the glue was still sort of, it almost been reactivated, and it was sort of stretchy. So that was kind of worrying on that one. Again, it's done a pretty good job, but again, it's where these, you know, this is obviously where something's been stuck to it at some point, and these were removed, these parts, so it hasn't penetrated the glue very well, it would appear. So I think that's one thing with the acetone, that it didn't really penetrate the glue as well. This is the AK paint stripper, which again strips the paint awesomely. Well, I think this is where it's had the opportunity to attack the paint and glue. It's pretty much removed it, but where these pieces have been semi stuck together when they've gone into the solution, it hasn't removed them there. So again, I'm of the opinion that another soaking will remove all of that. So, I mean, this was a 24-hour soak test. So this is it for, as part of this little experiment, is has progressed. So this will be the end of the video, but I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an additional video to this in a couple of days, where I'm going to re-soak these items and see if we can get a slightly better result where they've been stuck together and then come out with a winner. I mean, obviously the paint stripper is probably the one that works the best, but at the actual price of it, it's kind of thinking that one of these other products might be better for as many kits as I've got that I want to actually do. But obviously the benefit allegedly with the paint stripper is that you can just paint it on and achieve these results as opposed to soaking. So it probably does go a lot further than what I've used here. You know, that's kind of £4 or £5 worth just to remove, just to save 3 rather than not exactly exciting driving figures. But it's an experiment at the end of the day, and that's what it is. So I think I'm going to continue with this in another video, and we'll have some more results in a couple of days. So I hope you've kind of found this interesting. I have. You know, I now know that when I come to try to remove the paint from all my 20-year-old painted things, it's quite likely that they're all going to fall apart and I'm going to have to re-glue them all. So yeah, that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't really know. I haven't quite made my mind up yet on what it does to my plan to try and reinvigorate these kits. Obviously I can get the instructions downloaded off ScaleMates, and then I can just put them all together again. So that might be a good thing, because it gives me the opportunity to really attack some of the parts that really haven't gone together that well, even though this one isn't that bad really. Food for thought. Anyway, there'll be another video up in a couple of days with a further continuation of what we've found. So thanks very much for enduring this 20 odd minutes of me waffling and playing chemistry. I might do a few of these singly, you know, when I come to maybe do this, you know, say like this Panzer IV. I don't think sort of painting the stripper on will be a good idea, but immersing it in a bottle of Oven Pride, which costs about £4, I think, that might work. Drop us a comment, tell us what you think. So thanks for now. Do check out some of our other fascinating and interesting model kit videos. If you haven't watched me before, this is Andy signing off. Be seeing you.